Everyone loves a road trip, and this one takes us to the mid-north coast of New South Wales as far as Yamba. While at Yamba, we'll visit the legendary surfing areas around Angourie. Then we'll travel southward from Yamba to visit Sawtell, Nambucca Heads, Scott's Head, and finally Hat Head. This is Yamba. Yamba is an 8-hour drive from Sydney. It's a famous beach holiday destination and sits on the mouth of the Clarence River. This is our first visit to Yamba. In days gone by, we had always bypassed Yamba in favour of Byron Bay further north, but now Byron Bay suffers because it has one of the greatest rates of over-tourism on the planet. Yamba is quieter, with less push and shove. Yamba also boasts the second biggest fishing fleet in New South Wales after Eden, and tonight we'll barbecue some of the local catch. When you first arrive at Yamba, you'll probably drive up to the lighthouse to get an elevated view of your surroundings. There are quite a number of beautiful beaches here. Our accommodation is the Angourie Resort, just out of Yamba on Angourie Road. It's located in a lush forest setting and has a nice pool area. But tomorrow we are going to see some pools of a different kind. Just a few minutes' drive south of Yamba are these pools. Once these were quarries and were used to extract bluestone for the Clarence River breakwater wall. But during quarrying, an underground freshwater spring was disturbed. The quarries filled up with water and the quarry operations were abandoned. The abandoned quarries became two swimming areas, the Angourie Blue and Green Pools. Just around the corner from the pools lies Spooky Beach. Spooky Beach is a picture of North Coast tranquility. Pandanus palms provide shade, and the beach is strewn with pebbles and boulders and driftwood. It's a beautiful setting. Now, let us make our way to Angourie Point. The name Angourie is said to be from an Aboriginal word meaning tail feather of a sea eagle. Back in the day, that is the 1960s and 70s, New South Wales became the Combi Nation. Every surfer and his mate dreamed of waxing up his board and travelling up the north coast in a Combi minibus, and Angourie attained almost mythic status for its breaks. Mark Richards, a 4-time world surfing champion, considers Angourie to be the best right-hand point in Australia. He also believes it is one of the best in the world. The Angourie break features prominently in Morning of the Earth, probably the most famous surf movie ever made. It is no surprise then that Angourie Point was declared a National Surfing Reserve in January 2007. If it happens that the right-hand brake isn't working, then there is a left-hand brake on the southern side of the point. The beach to the south is called Back Beach. It's a rather sweeping beach and is part of Yuraygir National Park. Anyone who fancies a walking trek 65 kilometres in length can begin it here at Angourie Back Beach. It's a multi-day coastal walk through Yuraygir National Park, passing lagoons, creeks, sandy beaches and rocky headlands. Your journey finishes here at Red Rock. But we are quite content to pitch our cabana here and have a relaxing day on Angourie's Back Beach with its clear emerald waters. Having spent 3 days in Yamba, we are now heading south through the sleepy town of Sawtell. We have lunch at the Hilltop Store Cafe before having a look at the beach. I have memories, childhood memories, of camping here when my father took our family on a road trip up the north coast in a VW Beetle. I can still remember the number plate of our car, and I remember listening to the Beatles singing She Loves You on the car radio. And I remember swimming in this watercourse. It's Bonneville Creek, and beyond it lies Bongle Bongle National Park, famous for its large population of koalas and rainforests. We're on the road again to Scott's Head. I'm almost reluctant to show you how beautiful this area is. It's one of the last untouched, unspoilt and uncrowded seaside towns on the New South Wales coastline. It has this little shopping centre with a bottle shop, cafes and a great fish and chip shop. There is a bowling club, a surf club, a supermart and a caravan park right on the beach. We've rented a holiday house and invited our children, their spouses and our grandchildren to stay with us. Scott's Head will be our happy place for the next 6 nights. And these are the beaches and inlets that our house overlooks. Our grandchildren have an especially good time snorkeling and fossicking around the rocks at low tide for sea creatures to collect in their buckets. Just 30 kilometres north of Scott's Head lies the town of Nambucca. I'm especially interested in photographing the convergence of three waterways that form the Nambucca River estuary. Nambucca Heads is another town that we have always bypassed on our travels. But we are so close we have to have a look. The first thing to do here is find an elevated position from which to film the convergence of the Nambucca River with Taylor's Arm and Worrell Creek. Then we'll have lunch and walk along the boardwalk. While you're here, you can check out the V-Wall. As you walk along the breakwater, these eye-catching mini murals and memorials have been painted onto boulders, so that the breakwater has become a tourist attraction. This is the last day of our road trip. We're heading home, but decide to call in at Hat Head because it's so picturesque, with the Corrigaro Creek winding its way towards the base of the headland. This is a magnificent slice of paradise. We are spoiled for great beach scenery in Australia. Only 15 minutes inland from Hat Head is the charming little town of Gladstone on the Macleay River. It's our lunch stop before heading home. It's quite picturesque with its heritage buildings and riverside setting. The town was originally called Darkwater and was once a busy river port. The name was changed to Gladstone to honour a visiting dignitary whose wife's maiden name was Gladstone. There are art galleries here and heritage buildings and appealing places to eat. It has a creative and arty vibe. While here, we buy some fresh produce at a farm gate and some meat from the local butcher to take home. We've been here before and have had lunch here at the Gladstone Hub. This time we will try the fare at the Heritage Hotel. I do hope you've enjoyed this road trip and have been inspired to visit some of these remarkable destinations if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.